What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. For this Tuesday, February 9th, 2021, I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm quite aware, ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed show. I got a special guest. I'm going to bring this person on in a second. But before I do that, I always like to state my intentions for the show. And that's quite simple. My intentions is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here. And speaking of honest conversation, I have on here my special guest. Special guest, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, special guest. Okay, special guest. I'm going to bring you to the arena the right way, okay? So let me do this because this is an extensive bio, so everybody work with me. I got my man Tariq Thacker checking in. What's up, Tariq? Triple T, Justice, the Jasper's Finest joining us here today. All right, my special guest is a former music producer, songwriter, for the likes of groups called Surface. I don't know if you guys remember that song, Surface, the group Surface. He also worked with Melissa Morgan. He also worked with the great Luther Vandross. He also worked with my man Keith Sweat. And also he worked with the Temptations, this guy. Also he worked for Mickey Howard, just to name a few. He is the CEO and president of Stephen Chan Incorporated, which is a real estate and software company changing the financial and the technology game. Ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, please help me welcome Mr. Stephen Thompson to Transition Tuesdays. Steve, what's good, my friend?
Hey, Russ, how you been, buddy? Good to hear from you. Thanks very much, man. You need to send that recording to me, and I need to definitely use that for introduction when I come in the room.
Oh, you need me to bring you out? Okay, I can do that. We can work on that.
Bring him out.
There you go. Well, Steve, I'm not sure if you're familiar with my show, but what I do is when I have guests on, I like to make you comfortable, in my little armchair here, you know what I mean? Sofa, I love sofa. So here's what I'm going to do, Steve. I'm going to play a couple of cuts, right, for you, because I was thinking of you. I had to go into my bag here because I had to do my research. I had my man Steve on, so I had to do some research. So, Steve, I'm going to play a couple of these cuts, and you talk to me about you just talked to me about the songs once I play them for you, okay? Let's play this first one for you. Tell me if you can hear this. Hold on. Coming up.
Only you can make me happy.
Can you hear that, Steve?
Yes, I can.
All right. And who's that by? What's the name of that group?
That's Surface. That's my man Bernard Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah. I was still in power when that first came out.
Was it really? And did you work with Surface too?
Yeah. I had a production company. We had a production company, and two of my partners. If you go back to the old Albie Shore video, Rescue Me. One was playing the bass and one was playing the guitar. And I had another gentleman. His name is Gene Lake.
Okay.
He actually went on the road with Surface for their next album.
Okay.
And that's how we really got the hookup.
Okay, so that was a connection. Okay, hang with me, stay with me. We got Karen checking in. What's going on, Karen? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Let me play this other cut for you too, and tell me what you think about it. When you first hear this song, tell me what you think. All right. Who's that? You know who that is, Steve?
I still was in power.
You was still. So what's the connection between you and Melissa Morgan?
So my boy Gene Lake again plays drums.
Okay.
He actually was in he used to do a lot of session work.
Okay.
Session work and Gene and he had a. Well, let me bring it back.
Okay, bring it back. Rewind that back.
We all, when I was a freshman in, freshman in college,
Okay.
We all got jobs, like people who was in the music business. Rather than have a regular 9 to 5 on Wall Street or whatever, you would get, either waitress jobs or something simple like that to keep either your day or nights open if you was working or if you was auditioning.
Okay.
So what happened was, most of us, we got jobs at Tower Records.
Wow. Okay.
Back in the day, so yeah, a lot of musicians came through Tower Records, and I worked on the one. I worked at the one at 60, right up the block from where Power was on 66.
Okay.
And then Gene worked on the one at West 4th Street. So I met Gene, down there, and then basically we would get little gigs.
Okay.
So Gene had met Melissa Morgan's musical director, which is his name was Scott Brown, and Scott said that she's looking for tunes for the next album. So basically, we submitted some songs and stuff like that, and one got picked up.
Wow! So you said yours got picked up?
Yeah, the one.
Which one?
The one, not on that album.
Okay.
It was on, I think, either the album after that or the one. No. The album after that was the one with Kashif, and then the third album the album after that.
Okay.
I think it was The Woman I Am or something like that.
Okay.
Song called Don't You Know.
Okay, nice. Man, okay, so hey, hold on to that thought there. We got my man Ed joining us. What's going on, Ed? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. All right, so I'm gonna continue taking you down memory lane there, Steve. Okay, let me play this next cut, and for this next guy, this guy's catalog is extensive, but I'm gonna play one of the cuts that didn't really get a lot of play. But let me see if you can recognize this person. Here we go. And who is that, Steve?
Well, I had to personally call him Uncle Ronnie, but he's a great Mr. Luther Vandross.
Wow, you called him Uncle Ronnie?
Yeah, I used to date his niece.
Did you? Wait a second. Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So why the name Ronnie? Was that his legal name? That was his real name, or?
That's what everybody in the family. That's what they called him. They called him Ronnie. They didn't call him. They didn't call him Luther. They called him Ronnie.
Wow. So you knew Uncle Ronnie like that, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I saw him a week before he passed.
Oh man.
Yeah, and where he was and stuff like that. And, he still was funny.
Yeah.
Still was bringing the business and stuff like that. So
yes.
Yeah.
This guy was a legend, man. I remember, I wasn't even into Luther Vandross that strong until I went to Madison Square Garden. I saw him in concert, and man, this guy was singing and walking away from the microphone, and it was still vibrating. I was like, oh man, this guy is something special here.
Let me tell you something, man. I remember I must have been about 15 years old.
Okay.
And I had back then we had summer youth jobs. Remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I think I took my last check, which was a bigger check than most of them. And I spent like $100.
Okay.
He was playing Radio City. Music hall, and he was hot. So that's when Superstar was hot.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. And I scalped a ticket for $100 by myself, which was the last seat in the last row. And the show was amazing. He had a park scene, he had a nightclub scene,
man.
He had a bedroom scene.
That.
And I remember when I first met him, and I told him about. Matter of fact, I don't think he was still there.
Okay.
But when we went to Power in the morning, when we came out the train station, his building was on the corner before you crossed where the church was. Now you remember? Yeah. You remember the store Sims right across the street from Fordham?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
The building that was on the corner.
That's where he stayed at?
That's where he lived, because we would come up the block, and he would be in his brown Mercedes.
Man.
And we would, cause that's when Delirious was out.
Right.
And Eddie Murphy would, we would see him in the car outside his building, and we would go to the window, it was crazy. And almost 30 years later, I wouldn't even know that I would meet him and be in his presence like that.
Man, that's incredible, man. Steve, keep that energy, man. We got my man Tony. We got my man Tony McRae joining. What's going on, Tony? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. And we also got, I think he came in the picture, my boy, the voice of the Jaspers, Mr. Chris B. Williams, Uncle Smoothie. Has joined the building. Yes. I think he's back in. Well, I just saw him come in now. Let's see if he's going to come back in. But before we do that, let me play another nifty tune for you there, Steve. I'm going to play this for this artist. Tell me what you think of this guy. Uh-oh. There we go. I love this guy. And who is this, Steve?
Yeah, that's Harlem's finest. That's Mr. Keith Sweat.
Mr. Keith Sweat. So what's your correlation with him?
Same thing with my man Gene Lake. All of us, at that time, man, the R&B game was changing over with the New Jack Swing.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of the, Teddy and that energy and Al B. Chore, it was kind of a small clique. So everybody basically wanted that sound, and then the young cats was really into that, into that sound. So when I met Gene, and then the cats that he went to Berkeley School of Music up in Boston, they all transitioned down to New York. To try to get in, into the game with Uptown and stuff like that. Okay. So I think Gene and them met Keith through Bobby Duckett. Okay. Who was actually Bobby was a big time promotion cat at Hush Productions, which was Melba Moore, Freddie Jackson, Lilo Thomas, and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay, man.
I think Andre asked Bobby to get a band together for Al.
Andre Harrell?
And okay. Andre, okay. Music is like basketball. Music is small.
That's right. Yep.
And what happened was, I think Keith came out to the rehearsals, and I guess they were playing demos. Okay. So we slid a demo. We slid a demo to him, but he didn't take it. But then when Gene started playing with Surface, Pitt Connolly and David Townsend was real hot. Okay. So they were doing a lot of stuff, and then Gene they pulled Gene and us to basically write a song that they were going to produce for Keith. They didn't actually make his album. Okay. But we still got it, so I got it somewhere here. But
there you go. That's the connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Karen says that Keith Sweat song we just played. She said that's my song, so she loved that one. My man Chris is back. My man Chris says my dudes, and we got Donna Sebo. We got Manhattan College's finest Hall of Fame member, a Mac Hall of Fame member. Her actually uniforms in the Springfield Hall of Fame for Manhattan College. She is joining us here today as well. Hey, so Steve, man, I got two more to play for you, man. Now I got this other group that you said that you work with. I'm gonna play this cut, and this is an underrated cut for this group, man. I happen to dig it. You tell me what you think about it.
All right.
Who is that, Steve? I hear you laughing. Who is this, man?
That's the Empress of Soul, the Tempting Temptations.
Featuring who? You know who's on the hook with this one?
Rick James, baby.
Rick James. That's right. Oh man, tell me about your connection to the Temptations.
Well, my cousin used to road manage the group.
Really? Wow. I mean, he got stories for days.
Yeah, then he started managing Eddie David and Dennis opposite, and then he went on to Hall and Oates. Started road managing Hall and Oates as well.
Wow, he linked up with Hall and Oates too. That's some Blue Eyed Soul there. Those cats there, man.
Yeah, because remember, I don't know, we go back to Live Aid. Mm-hmm. Live Aid back in the day, that concert that was on all day Saturday was in England, and then was over here in Philly.
Yep, Run DMC, all those guys. I remember that one.
Exactly. So Hall and Oates brought out David Ruffin and Eddie Kendricks, and they sang My Girl and stuff like that, and that actually turned into a tour.
Wow.
So my cousin, went out with David and Eddie on the Hall and Oates tour. Mm-hmm. But what happened was that portion finished, and the Hall and Oates just asked him to stay out. So he stayed out with them for like a year or so and stuff like that.
Man, I tell you, we got 6 degrees of Stephen Thompson, man. I tell you, man.
Yeah, let me tell you a quick story of when I first met the great legendary David Ruffin.
Okay. Oh man, David Ruffin. What you got?
So if you remember the miniseries, it kind of did him justice. But Live and Living Color, man, let me tell you, that cat was something else, man. My cousin came up and we drove down to Baltimore, and they were doing the show. They were actually headlining. It was David, Eddie, and Dennis.
Ooh.
So they had their own group, so they were actually slaying. So now, I heard the stories and I heard how difficult he was and stuff like that. But it ain't nothing like when you see it live and in living color. So I'm backstage now. I'm meeting Eddie Kendricks for the first time. I'm meeting Dennis Edwards for the first time. And the backstage is tense because there's no David Ruffin.
Right.
David Ruffin is not in the building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now they worried about the promoter, cutting their money because they supposed to be getting paid for 3, not 2. You know what I'm saying? So, so it wasn't a sold out house, but it was kind of, we got there a little late, so they couldn't really get me a ticket. So my cousin said, "Man, just go in the house and just sit anywhere. They ain't gonna bother you." So I just said, so no one could bother me. I just went up in the upstairs. So nobody was up there. So I just sat there, by myself and stuff like that. So anyway, so no David Ruffin, so they had to basically start the show. So as they're starting the show, they're going into their set and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, I don't think the crowd is noticing that David is not there, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So they're going into a memory of their songs. And I think by the time they get to like either the third or the fourth song, it was supposed to start David's,
his set.
Right, his set of songs and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm looking like, now they said that his plane was delayed from coming in from Detroit. He was on the plane, but it was just late. And then that he was going to get there, but they didn't know when he was going to get there, as well as he was going to be on time. So they singing, the group is on, they doing, they professional, they singing their songs and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, nobody can see it because I'm on the upper deck and everybody's on the ground level, so they can't see. Right. So I'm looking and I see the somebody, the curtain in the back just moving. Right. It's just moving, right? So I was like, damn, what they doing back there? And stuff like that. So, so all of a sudden, as the movement of the curtain kept going like, almost to the edge of the stage where you would see who would basically come out. So the music is just basically playing boom, 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 and then it goes boom, and then he opens the curtain and the spotlight hits him and he grabs the mic and says, "I know you want to leave."
Oh, like, man.
Oh, dude, it's official. It's official. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't even know he was there.
Wow.
They just get into it and blah, blah, blah. So what happened, they was giving him the side eye. right? Because he was late, and they didn't want to lose no money.
Right.
So I already knew the backstory. So I left my seat up top, and I came down to the front row. I wanted to see the master in person because I always heard these stories, right?
Right.
So they get to the last song, which was "I'm Losing You."
Oh yeah.
And they groom in and they drop and David Ruffin, I swear to God, he threw the mic up, he did the spin, dropped to his knees and caught the mic and made out a big yell, dropped the mic and went off stage.
Wow, man. He was the guy for the theatrics, man. I got a good friend. Shout out to my boy Reggie. My boy Reggie says, yo, man, if you ever run with a crew, if you ever have a crew of people, he says there's always a David Ruffin in that group.
Listen, I always tell people, I say, you know, some people think they're better than they are. I say, man, you ain't no David Ruffin.
Right.
Regardless of his antics, you would wait for David Ruffin because when he show up, he gonna show out.
He gonna show out. Yeah, I remember watching the movie The Temptations. I remember how they got mad at him because he said, hey, I'm David Ruffin. And these are the Temptations. And they went crazy. You know, the Temptations, they said, yo, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I got one more for you, man. I'm going to play this one more cut for you, man. You tell me what you think of it. We just cue it up real quick. And then I want to get your relationship with this particular artist as well. Hang on one second. I'm going to play this song here now. This song is a underrated song for this artist. But tell me what you think. For the ladies out there, for the ladies. It's about to come on. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. Man. Now, who is this, Steve?
That's Missy Howard.
Oh, yes. Tell me your relationship with this young lady.
So, another member of our crew was his name is Brian Hill. And Brian Hill was a bass player on that rescue video with Al B. Shore.
Okay.
So Brian basically had a deal with a group that he was in on Atlantic Records called Judge Not.
Okay.
And the producer was Lamel Hill. And I think Lamel Hill produced that same cut right there, I believe. But that was Mickey's producer.
Okay.
So he, myself, Gene, and him, you know, we did some tracks, and he let Mickey. Lamel liked the track that we basically did, and he wanted it for Mickey. And basically, we was just about to give it to them, and something, they cut the record, but something happened, and they couldn't make the album.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, that would have been a number one smash for Mickey. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
And back then, if you was just on the album and the album went platinum, the least amount of money you was going to get is at least $600,000.
Oh boy, man, yeah. Easy, huh? Yeah.
If you were just on the album, if you were just on it and it went platinum or double platinum, and she was going gold and platinum, you know, easily.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. Gotcha. So got the correlation. Hey, man. Oh, man. You know, hey, Steve, man, I appreciate you walking me down memory lane, man. These are the, you know, you work with you have some affiliation with some powerhouse people, man, in the industry, man. That should be applauded to you, man, for you, man. That's some great stuff, man.
Yeah, man. You know, it was, you know, never thought, but you know, sometimes when you have desires and dreams, and you know, we was hungry back then. We really wanted to, get into that game, and the game was a lot more. I kind of correlated to the game of basketball now, you know, whereas I don't really know too many of the players, but back, and even though we have the internet, You should know everybody. But back then,
Yep.
You know, in the 80s and stuff like that, we knew everybody, but didn't have no internet.
Right. No, there's no internet. Nope. No cell phones. Right. You know.
Yeah, you know, so it's like it's backwards for some reason, and
Yep.
just more of a quality of music and a lot more structure, and what I tell a lot of people, I said back then, musicians and singers really did it for the love of music.
Yes.
And they made money from it.
Right.
And they didn't do it to be famous. But I find today's artists, they want to be famous and make money and put the music on the back burner.
Yeah. That's true, man. That's true, man. Oh man. Hey, Steve. We speaking of back burner, we're gonna put the music on the back burner for a second because I just learned that you and I have something in common. We went to Powell Memorial Academy. That's correct, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Hey, everybody out there. And again, I know my man Steve has some great Powell Memorial stories, man. Like for me, so I just want to set it up a little bit for you, Steve. And hold on one second, Steve. We got my man Lance joining and checking in with us. What's going on, Lance? Welcome to Transition Tuesday, my friend. So, Powell Memorial Academy. Okay, now I was the last class because the school closed in 1984. I happened to be the last class of Powell Memorial. That's the school, a home of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was Lou Alcindor during that time. You had Len Elmo. You had so many greats out of that school. But, you know, I was a freshman when it closed. Now, Steve, what grade were you in when the school closed?
Well, I was a year ahead of you, but you also forgot Chris Mullin.
Oh, that's right, Chris Mullin. That's right. Yep, who transferred to Severian.
You went there for 3 years and then you transferred.
Yes, so many cats, man. So many cats out of Powell Memorial Academy, man. So you were a sophomore when the school closed?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So, couple of things, Steve. Now, we know the same person. He was talking to you about Powell Memorial, and he mentioned that he said that you saw some of my freshman games. You were watching some of the freshman games played?
Yeah, well, you know how it used to. You know how it
Oh yeah.
Y'all started at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, then JV.
And then the JV came, and then the varsity.
Right.
So what I remember, and it was kind of ironic, because I remember I had met you through Uncle Smoothie some years back, because I think you had some knee troubles or something like that.
Yes, I did. Yep.
Right. And it was amazing because, I mean, you said that you went to Manhattan, but I remember, I think I watched you on, I think you posted something on your Facebook, or was it about Mr. McGlone?
Right.
And Mr. McGlone was a teacher at Power.
Yes.
And then I was like, wow, well, how Russell know Mr. McGlone? and then what happened was, like, Russell, because you said your name is Russ Williams online.
Right.
And before your name was Russell Williams.
Right. Yeah. I had to shorten it up for the people. You know what I mean, Steve?
Exactly. So I don't remember. But then you also had the David Rivers afro.
Yes, I did. I did have the David Rivers little fro. That's right. I did.
So I didn't put two and two together that, you gained a little weight and stuff like that. But I remember because I think you guys had went undefeated for maybe 15, 16 games.
Yeah, man. We was.
Yeah, y'all was giving the business.
We was.
And then I think y'all went all the way to the city championship.
We went to the city championship, man. And before, I just want to continue on that thread, man. My team, my freshman team, man. I want to shout out some people. My boy Marlon Miller, Derek Amelbert, my man Louis Garcia. We had
Louis,
Lou with the spin. He had the best spin move in the city, man. Louis Garcia, my man Sean McCray, my man Eddie Jordan.
Lefty.
Yes, Sean McCray, the lefty. He can guard anybody, man. He can guard from 1 to 5. That was my boy, Sean McCray.
Lock you up.
Yes, he can lock you up. My man Obatala Burns, he was in the house. My man Mark Ross was in the house. My man Lloyd was in the house. Yo, man, we had a crew. We had 12. We can go 12 deep, man. That's why in practices, man, if you made a mistake in practice, you might not play in a game. So that was like, you had to come correct, man. We had the best team. We were blowing cats out, and we lose the championship game to Bishop Lachlan, my man Vince Jackson, who's on here all the time. We even talk about this to this day, how they beat us. And here's the funny thing.
Y'all got believe y'all got jumped.
Oh, man. Hey, check this out, Steve. We scrimmaged Bishop Ford a month before the championship. We scrimmaged them. We beat them by 40.
Wow.
We beat them by 40 points. So, you know, we young kids, you know, we about to be a trivia question. You know, who was the last team for Palmer Memorial to win a championship? You know, it's the freshman team, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, we young, you know, we bold. We like, oh, we ain't losing game. We ain't losing no games. We definitely ain't losing to these guys. We wind up losing, man. We lost that game. And it still hurts to this day, Steve.
Yeah, who you telling?
Oh, my God. Man.
One thing about back then in that era was school spirit and school rivalries. I don't know if it's like that now. I mean, you know, you had pride. You had pride wearing your jacket. You know, our power jackets.
I still got my power jacket. You got yours, man?
Nah, man. I had to let it go.
I still got my purple. I gotta find it somewhere, man. I still have it. I know that's intact.
And you had to earn those, man. You know, because I played baseball, so.
Oh, okay, you did. Okay, cool. We can talk about that. Okay.
So basically, you know when they put them orders in, and you got your joint, you know what I'm saying, and you wore it on the train, and people, you know, like you was somebody.
That's
true.
true.
Like you had a Riverside or a Gaucho jacket back in the day.
I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I had my boy, I had Tariq Thacker on, and Tariq, we was talking about, you know, because I'm from Queens, and I played at Riverside Church, and my biggest thing was, yo, you know, I don't care really about the ball. All I want is a Riverside bag, and I want a Riverside jacket, so I could be the first one in Queens rocking it. That was my stilo then.
That's what it was about.
Yes,
that's what it was about. But you know, Power Memorial was a real special school.
Yes,
and, you know, to me, as well as a lot of individuals who went there, because something it wasn't the most glamorous building,
right?
Looking back at it, but it just had a spirit of brotherhood in it.
It did.
Where you know, where you really kind of took up, you know. And then the brothers kind of related, you know, they related well to you and stuff like that, and they matured you.
Yeah.
You know, plenty of times when I seen a big 6'2" or 6'3" dude get slapped up in homeroom.
Yo, yeah, the brothers weren't playing, right? Yo.
I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Jason, NBA All-Star Jason Williams was in my class.
That's right.
We rode the train together every day.
Wow.
So it was real sad when the school actually closed, because, and I was talking about this the other day, it was real political. And now, you know, you look at politics on TV, and back then, we were 14, 15 and stuff like that.
Right.
When they were really playing politics of closing the school because they just wanted to sell the property.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you know, there was news stories and it was in the paper that people had actually volunteered to keep the school open and rebuild the school for no cost to them, and they still didn't want to keep the school open.
Yeah, they wanted to sell it for the real estate. I mean, that was condos now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still there, but I mean, a lot of individuals in my class, which was supposed to be 86, but that 84 sophomore class, when we transferred to different schools, a lot of kids didn't make it. A lot of kids in my class dropped out.
Yeah, because of that brotherhood of power, man. You're not gonna find that other places, you know, which is
it just was different, man. Like, so, myself, Jason, and Brian Young, who played on the varsity.
Yes.
We went to Christ the King.
Oh, you guys went to Christ the King? Okay, CK. Okay.
We went to Christ the King, and that was like going from Power to Christ the King was like going into 90210.
Right. Yes.
You had kids 16, 17, 18 riding down the hill and on our campus and stuff, like brand new cars. Yep. You had girls too on campus. You know. That was adjustment too. Girl, you know what I'm saying? Yep. We were shell shocked. It was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy, but
that's true.
It was a huge adjustment. It was a huge adjustment from Believe in Power. The spirit, the camaraderie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It took me a little while to really kind of adjust, and get it out. But I remember, I wish we had Facebook back then.
I know.
Cats in Power, they would come back when they demolished the school and take the bricks and bring them home for souvenirs.
Really? Wow. That's a good get there.
They would come back and get when they demolished the building. They would come back and they would take a brick and bring it and bring it home and save it. Some people probably still have the bricks.
Wow. Yeah. Power was a special school. We got my man Alfonso Walker joining. What's going on, Alfonso? I think Alfonso's a newbie to the show. Welcome aboard, sir. Welcome each and everybody here. As I'm talking to my good friend Stephen Thompson here. Hey, so Steve, man, Power Memorial. So here's the question: Did you play an instrument at all?
No, I didn't actually play an instrument.
Okay.
I remember the band room.
Okay. I just was gonna mention that, Steve, because but my freshman year I was in the I had a music class and you had to go downstairs.
You know what? I remember you did have a case. I remember you coming in with a case.
Yep, I had a clarinet, man.
Yeah, so I remember that.
Yeah.
You know I had a case, right? I didn't know you had a case. I remember you had a case.
Yeah. Oh man. Now that's a good case to have. You know what I mean? When you get a case, that's a good case.
Exactly. Listen, talking about cases, I don't know if you was there that day.
Okay.
But you know how we used to, we had to walk that long strip.
Yes.
From the train station past that Fordham block and then turn the corner.
Right.
So we was remember at the end of the year. Everybody had to come in at different times to take their finals.
Yes, I remember that.
You remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So one morning, because all of us that came from the Lower East Side used to take the train together.
Okay.
But since we had finals and everybody had to come in, juniors and seniors and freshmen and sophomores came, to take your test. Right. So we came in a different time than all of us moving up. Mm-hmm. So taking the train, me and Jay, we take the train together.
Okay.
So we walking up. So I told Jay, I said, I'm going to the store. So I stop in, Sam's, which was short for stealing my store back in the day. So I'm buying something, and then all of a sudden, Jay's in the middle of the block.
Mm. Okay.
Now, he's arguing with this little dude, because Jay was about 6'1", 6'2". Yep. 15 years old, going on to 16, or 16 years old probably. I think he was 16. Right. And they arguing. So I walk up on them. I'm like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Oh, man, this dude said, I looked at him and stuff. Like, yeah, you looked at me, So the cat said he was like a Zulu dude or something like that. You remember back then?
Oh, yeah. Like Zulu Nation? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, I don't like how he's looking at me. So the dude was real small, but I think he was older than Jay. Okay. So anyway, long story short, they start fighting. So Jay started hammering them up in the headlock and boom, boom, boom. Right. So we broke it up, right? So it was like, 2-3 minutes and stuff like that. Nothing big. Right. So we broke it up. So the dude got his coat and he said, yeah, I'm going to be right back. Uh-oh. Right? So Jay said, yeah, guys, go where you going, right? He said, I'll be right back. So the dude ran. Uh-oh. And me and Jay started walking to school. A couple other kids was there. We was walking to school to, to go to take our test. Right. So we got to school. So I said, Jay, come on, man, come inside. He said, nah, I'm going to sit right here, because the front of the steps. Right. Yep. Power. Mm-hmm. Right there in front of the bus stop. Yep. So right there. So I was like, so I'm sucking my teeth. I was like, man, I got to wait out here with you just in case something happens. Yeah, that's your dude. Yeah, you got to be with him. And then Jay was the type of person, if you ain't doing it, he'll start talking. Jay was like Trump back then. If you ain't do something, he start talking about you. Yeah. So I'm sitting there with him, right? So the dude ran all the way down to Martin Luther King, right? Mm-hmm. So I swear, and I can remember this like yesterday, Russ. Uh-huh. It must have been about 8 minutes. And in 8 minutes, I seen about 70 dudes turn the corner. Oh, boy. And start running start running up to Power.
Oh, boy.
And I said, Jay, you see that? And he was like, yeah, it ain't gonna do nothing. I was like, Jay, do you see what's coming? And that was the, that was the era where they would just rush you.
Oh, yeah, they bum rush you. That was it. Yep.
That was it. So nobody, no big kids was in school.
Right.
So I ran into the lunchroom, and I think it was just freshmen. I think it was just freshmen and sophomores in there before we took our test.
Right.
So I don't know. I think you remember Norris McAdoo.
Oh yeah. I gotta ask you about Morris McAdoo. But go ahead, continue, man.
And all them cats and stuff like that. So they was and Chuck and Big Ron and stuff like that. So they was in there. So I was like, yo, these cats from King are running up the block to beat up Jay.
Right.
And they go, what? I said, yo, they coming up the block now, strong. So they ran out, and by the time they ran out, Brother Bankley and all the brothers ran out.
Ooh.
So the kids from King started hooking off on the brothers.
Get out of here!
And the brothers started throwing.
Right in front of school.
And I was like, yo, this is it was so ridiculous. We was out in the street of Amsterdam. They had to hold up the bus.
Oh my!
Remember the bus stop and
right.
Get off the bus there in front of the school.
Right.
It was off the meat rack.
Man, imagine if they had cell phones during that time, Steve.
And I should have known that was a prerequisite of all the drama Jay was going to do.
Yeah. Jay, what Jay saw, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Oh man.
Oh, but that goes back to what you talked about, the toughness of the brothers. Yo, they did not play.
Yeah, they didn't play, man.
They protected their own. They did not play. I can see them hooking off. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, man. With the collar on.
With the collar on. That is funny, man. Oh, Power Memorial, man. Fond memories. I went there maybe like a year ago at a business meeting. So I decided to walk down there, and I saw, now it's the high rise and everything. But I just flashed back to when I was a freshman, man. It was none like Power Memorial, man. I tell people all the time, Steve, if Power Memorial stayed open, I mean, you would have had championships out the wazoo, man. I mean, for my freshman year, Jay's.
Didn't we varsity went to the city? Didn't we go to the city championship that year?
I don't think they went to the city championship because they had Mel Kennedy. Yeah, they got knocked off. Yeah,
they got knocked off.
Yep.
But the interesting thing is, and I think I mentioned to you, when I went to Christ the King, Christ the King went to the city championship that year against All Hallows.
All Hallows. Oh yeah, yep.
And as I look, I saw the starting five for Power. That next year we would have remained open.
Yep.
Which was crazy. So,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
Dow Walker and Mark Lake Skeeter.
Skeeter, yeah. Skeeter's for my way, man, for my project. Yeah, Skeeter. Oh.
Yeah, man, all them cats, man, good dudes, man. It was just an amazing time, back in the 80s and stuff like that.
It was. Hey, Steve, you mentioned Morris McAdoo. Now, people don't know this. Now, let's talk about my man, McAdoo. He had one arm.
Yeah, well.
He was a lefty, he had like,
I remember Lawrence was in my homeroom.
Okay.
So,
they called him Lucky. They called him Lucky, too.
Yeah, he called him Lucky. And basically what happened was, remember when you first got into school, they would have freshman intramurals. Mm-hmm. So, when he was at home, everybody said, yeah, I'm going out for the team, and boom, boom, bang, right? Mm-hmm. So, we saw he had one arm, right? So he said, yeah, I'm going out for the team as well. Mm-hmm. So, I think we started playing, I think it was homeroom against homeroom or something like that.
Right.
And the dude, so, nobody wanted to say nothing, but I'm like, dude, you got like one arm.
Right.
Like, how do you could dribble? Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So when we did the tap, mm-hmm. and we started boom, 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 so nobody saying nothing. Like, all right, well, somebody threw him the ball.
Right.
When he threw him the ball, he crossed the dude over and laid up, and we was like, oh!
Yes, man.
Oh! Then it was game another hand.
Yes.
Man, and the dude was tricky with it, man.
He was nice, man.
It was mesmerizing people, man.
Yep.
They used to come to the freshman games and just to watch him.
Yes.
You know, when he was getting in the game, and he was a good brother, and he was Bob McAdoo's nephew.
That's right, Bob McAdoo's nephew. Yup. He was nice. I mean, they tried to force him left. It didn't matter. He'd go right with his left.
He crossed him over and stay where he at.
And stay where he at. Man, yup. I wonder how's he doing, man. I would love to see that guy again. Oh, man.
I think he's left out somewhere. A couple of my boys, you know, they stay in contact with him.
Okay. Man, Lucky. Oh, man. I'm glad you brought up his name, man. We got my man Tony Morales joining. What's going on, Tony? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you on, my man. So, Power Memorial. Man, oh, man.
In fact, I'll tell you a quick story.
Okay.
About your boy, your teammate, Lou Garcia.
Yes, my man Louis. That was my dude. Uh-huh.
And Lou saved my life.
How did Lou save your life? And Lou was usually watching. So how did he save your life, man?
Lou saved my life, man. So we had gone out to Roseland. Back in the day. So
You went to Roseland? Wow. You was too young to be in there, Steve. How you getting there?
No, it was after 18. You know, after 18, you get in there.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So,
All right.
So, this was back in the day when you used to say something to a girl if she didn't want to dance with you, right? Mm-hmm. So I said something, which I'm not going to say what I said.
Okay.
So the girl doubled back, right? And she said, "What did you say? What did you just say to my friend?" And she said, "You shouldn't say that. That's not nice."
Okay.
Right? So, you know, I was ashamed and I apologized on the spot, right? Mm-hmm. So when I looked up, she was talking to these big thug dudes from Brooklyn that I couldn't do damage at the Fresh Fest and all these hip hop concerts that they just used to be beating cats up.
Right. Okay.
So she was pointing at me, right?
Uh-oh.
And the dudes, they had that vulture look in them. And it was like, oh, word? He what? Right?
Right.
So, in the last minute, I see this dude, the Spanish dude, come over, right? And he's like talking to them, and then the dude, the leader of the pack was like, "Oh, that dude right there." So Lou turned around like, "Who?" and he said, "Who, Steve?" Oh man, that's my man Steve. Leave him alone, man. He's good. When I saw him, I said, "Yo, Lou, thanks." He said, "Yeah, man, be easy up here, man."
Oh, that is, hey, man, my man Lou, man, to this day, because I know Lou lives in, I think, in ATL now, but my man Lou, he always had that charisma like that. And I'll share a quick story. I'll share a quick story about Lou real quick. You know, again, that run that we had my freshman year on the team, we lost one game, right? We lost one game. So we knew with Coach Tony, so he said, "Hey, man, practice tomorrow is going to be a mother, man. You guys better make sure you there. You lace them up." We practicing. There's no Louis Garcia. Like, where's Lou? Lou decided he wasn't going to go to practice that day.
Oh, he skipped out.
He skipped out on us, yeah. And then we have our, you know, we get ready to play at our game, and Lou warming up and everything, and Coach like, "No, Lou, what do you think? You think you gonna play in this game? You ain't playing in this game. Are you kidding me? You missed practice. You ain't playing."
I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, but Lou skipped practice, man. He said word to nobody. You know, we warming up. Next thing you know, there's no Lou Garcia. I was like, man, oh man. My man Lou. Oh, man. Power Memorial Days. Yes. Lou was a savior, man. He was a savior in the basketball court, and he was a savior off the court, too, for you.
yeah, man. Big Lou.
Oh, man. Hey, so, Steve, I got a couple more questions for you, man. So, Steve, where did your love of music come from, man? What inspired you, like, for music? You know, why'd you gravitate to music?
To be honest with you, I mean, I guess it was inherited from my mother, and then my dad produced the first gospel Grammy record for Shirley Caesar.
Really?
Yeah, he produced Shirley Season, No Charge. My dad did that, Scepter Records.
Wow.
Back in the day. So I guess I get it, from both sides. But from the music production side or business side, it definitely had to, give it to my father.
Man.
Yeah, he produced the Five Blind Boys, produced Dionne Warwick's only gospel album. And I remember, right there on 54th Street was right next to, his office was right next to Studio 54.
Wow, man.
Yeah. And back then, on that label was BT Express.
Ooh.
Come on and do it.
Yes, do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Yes.
Yeah, man, on that label at that time. So I still got all the records he gave me, all the promo copies, man.
Oh man, that is amazing. So that's where you get it from.
That's where it comes from. Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Man, that is cool. Hey, so Steve, now that I got you here, man, you know how you have give me your 5 best MCs, but for your case, I want to do something a little different, Steve. I want you to give us your top 5 music producers. You think you can do that?
That's easy.
Okay, what you got, man? Top 5 music producers.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
Okay. That's a good one, man. Good duo.
LA Babyface.
Another good duo, yes. Okay.
Teddy Riley.
Ooh, Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley was Puffy before Puffy. People got to give that man that due, man.
Nah, you can't even put Puffy in the category with
That's
Teddy
true.
Riley.
Yup. He changed.
Puffy didn't play music.
Yeah, and this guy invented New Jack Swing. I mean, come on, enough said there.
Right.
Yep, that's 3.
So let's go with Holland Dozier Holland. All the Queens.
Okay.
And Four Tops.
Okay.
And you gotta give the man the credit, man. Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. Man. There's a great documentary about Quincy Jones on Netflix, man. I think it's called Quincy, too. I think people should check that out. Quincy Jones. Man.
Yeah, man. Gotta give it to him. He went from Sinatra to Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And, Sanford and Son, he scored that.
Yep.
Ironside, he scored that.
That's
Lamar
right.
Squad, scored that.
Yep. I think he has a little bit of his hand in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yep, that too.
Yeah, well, he executive produced that. Yeah.
Man.
So,
Man.
can't go wrong with you.
Man, you can't go wrong with that 5. That's a good 5. Now, how about give me your top 5 songwriters? That might be tough.
No?
You can handle that one, Steve? Okay.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
Okay, right.
Babyface, they did write their own songs.
Babyface, yep.
Babyface. Gotta go with Leon Silvers. Whispers and Shalimar and Lakeside and all those solo groups and stuff like that. Who's that, 3 or 4?
That's 4. Give me one more.
Diane Warren.
Who's that?
Diane Warren.
Ooh, Diane Warren. She wrote for a number of great hits, right, for people.
Celine Dion, Monica. I think Pink's in that ensemble and stuff like that.
Wow.
But you know what? I'll go half with Diane Warren and then Gerald Levert.
Oh, Gerald Levert off the bench. All right, Gerald Levert.
Yeah, Gerald Levert. He got a lot of sleepers that people don't know he wrote.
Yeah, the OJs was mean too, man.
I'm sorry.
You got another one?
Gamble and Huff and on both sides. On both sides. I don't even know what I was thinking about. Gamble and Huff on both sides.
There you go. Gamble and Huff. Yes. There you go. All right, man.
It's hard to put 5.
Yes.
But it's hard to put 5.
Man, that is good. Man. Now that's a mean 5 on both sides, man. That's mean, man.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, so Steve, man, we had the music, we talked a lot of music today, which is good because, you got that great ear for music and I love hearing the stories that you have about music, man. So talk to us about what you're doing now at Steven Channel Inc. Talk to us a little about what that's all about.
Well, yeah, I have I was actually I came into it by accident, but A friend of mine had somebody messed up my mother's computer once.
Okay.
And I had all my music files on that computer because I was producing a group called Beige, and they were ready to go in the studio, and I think my mother had a virus or something like this a couple years back.
Okay.
And I went to get it fixed. And so when I called the dude, I said, "Is it fixed?" And he said, "Yeah, it's fixed. Come get it." So I went. And my mother was going to college, and she was writing a thesis. So all her stuff was on it. So when I plugged up the computer, there was no icons on the computer. So when I went back and I brought the computer back, I was like, "Yo, man, there's no icons on the computer. Where's my mother's files and my files?" He said, "Oh, I put Windows. I think I said I put Windows ME on there." And I said, "You did so?" I said, "So what that mean?" He said, "Yeah, I erased everything."
Oh.
And I said, "You what?" He said, "Yeah, I erased everything." I said, "But that's not what I wanted you to do. I wanted you just because it was just slow. It had a virus."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just slow. "Oh, but you know what?" So I was like, "Dude, you can't do that."
Right.
So anyway, I had a big argument at the school or whatever. So the group that I was producing, their manager called me. And the manager was like, "Yo, we ready to go." I said, "Man, I can't go in the studio now." He was like, "Why?" I said, "All the tracks that I had for them to do the erase."
Yeah.
So he said, "Hold on." So he said, "I'll call you right back." So he called me back, and he had this dude on the phone. And he said, "Tell him what happened." So he said, I told him what happened. He said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Yeah, can you bring the computer to me?" I said, "Yeah, I can bring it." He said, "Yeah, bring it." I live in Jersey, but if you bring the computer to me, I can fix it. I said, "You can fix it?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, your computer, your files are not lost." And I said, "What?" He said, "They all deleted." He said, "No, they're not lost." So anyway, I brought it to him, and then basically, he said, "Give me a day or two and come back and get it." And then he gave me, when I came back, he gave me a disc with all my files. And I said, "Yo, dude, like, what did you do?" He said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Don't believe." He said, "They're never destroyed." He said, "That's why when you see the movies, when they want to get rid of a computer, they blow up the hard drive." He said, "That's how they find out all the pedophiles and stuff for child porn, because they don't destroy the hard drive."
Right.
That's how they find out all the stuff that you've been doing.
Right.
On computer. So I was like, "Wow." So I said, "Man, what is it you do?" So he said, "Well, I wrote a software program that's going to help artists, get paid and protect their content online." So immediately I said, "Okay, well, tell me more." And he told me how it would work, where people would basically just, put their music online like this is about 15 years ago.
Okay.
All right?
Wow.
So before all this stuff is now.
Right.
And they would basically, download the song. We can protect it and we can track it. And someone basically shares your information or shares the song with somebody else and blah, blah, blah. We can track it back to them, and they you can sue them and stuff. I was like, wow. And then basically, anytime this person's song is downloaded, the musicians, the songwriters, and the producers would actually get paid instantly.
Wow.
So I was like, started going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So I just said, "Man, how could I be down?" So,
right.
And he told me, and I told my expertise and stuff like that, and who I was connected with, and blah blah blah. So I just joined that. I joined the company, and we got funded and stuff like that. Long story short, it didn't work out. But Cat came through the office that wanted to combine his technology with our technology.
Okay.
And this technology, where a lot of people sample music and they don't pay for it. So his technology could actually find and listen in all types of formats. If someone took someone's sample or interpolation or whatever they did and without paying for it, and it would be a red flag. So it would be like, it almost be like town.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
So so we would monitor the world globally on television, on radio, on streams and stuff like that. That basically would would stop people using illegal content or plagiarizing, whatever you want to call it, without paying.
Okay. So do you still do that now with this company that you're doing?
Yeah. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we slowed up.
Yeah, but, I can imagine. Okay.
We got our patent back.
Okay.
So now we coming out the door.
Okay.
And hiring some programmers and stuff like that. And it's difficult, because we're doing it in artificial intelligence, so we can't just hire anybody.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you got to definitely vet them.
Yeah, them dudes is like left-handed guards.
I know the feeling. Those are tough to guard, those guys.
So that's basically what I'm doing,
Okay.
What my concentration is right now.
Sure. Gotcha. Man, my man Steve, it has been a pleasure walking down memory lane with you, man, vibing with you on the music scene, scene. I'm so glad, we had that connection, which is Power Memorial. I'm glad my boy Smooth put me on that. He was like, man, I got a guy. You gotta talk to your guy, Steve, man. We can talk music, talk Power Memorial. He gives great stories.
Before you close out,
yes, sir.
Uncle Smoothie set this up.
Okay.
And how I met Uncle Smoothie. Uncle Smoothie, a friend of mine, basically had worked at Coca-Cola, and I think her and Uncle Smoothie went to church together.
Okay.
And Uncle Smoothie was taking on a kid from his church to basically, for him to become a recording artist.
Right.
So
okay.
She had brought me a kid who really was good and really was a good singer, and we started working with him. But the kid, he didn't have what it takes to go to the finish line. And you probably can relate when when you got ball players who could jump out the gym, or whatever. But it's a mental fortitude that you still need to either get into the league or even get them to look at you.
Absolutely, yes.
Talent is a big plus, but you got to have an edge and a discipline and a commitment that people who are gonna basically pay their salary look for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same thing with the music business. They're gonna give you a contract and spend thousands or $100,000, even $1 million on your project. They gotta know that you're gonna show up. And
absolutely.
You're not gonna act crazy.
Right.
So that kid didn't work out. So when she came to me with this gospel artist, I was like, well, I could write gospel, but I'm not inspired to basically write because I don't really have nobody to write for him, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, I need you to meet my friend Chris. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. So I met him. And, Chris comes with the 32 Colgate teeth. He want to know what you drinking. How can we make this happen?
Right, that's Chris.
Yeah, I want come on, tell me what we can do. We'll do it, and da da da. And he smooths me and schmoozing me. To even think about taking this guy on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was working. I think we started working together, but I think something happened. I just got swayed away and stuff like that, and we didn't really follow. But we stayed in touch. We became friends and stuff like that, and excellent individual, and Mr. Positive Energy.
Absolutely, yes. That's Uncle Smooth. Yup, positive energy is a gift. That's his mantra.
There it is.
There it is. And we're gonna end it like that, Steve. Hey, Steve, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Walking down memory lane, man, and again, when things start cooking and stuff with your business and everything, man, love to have you back on again. We, try to promote it. I gotta look out my Power Memorial Panther, my Panther brother. I gotta look you out, man.
Yes, sir, definitely, man. Shout out to you, Russ, and I remember getting the link to listen to your podcast when you first started.
Yes.
You had a co-host or a female on there with you, stuff I believe.
Yes.
And come a long way, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I just want to send a shout out to 90210 in Delaware. You know, I told I wasn't going to shout out, but I lied. So anyway.
There you go. Was that 90210 in Delaware?
Yeah, she know what it is.
Okay, cool. Shout out to you, sis. All right, Steve. Hey, man. Love having you, man. We'll be in touch, brother.
All right, Russ, thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Transition
Tuesday.
Fast.
No problem. Absolutely, man. Thanks again, Steve. We'll be in touch, brother.
You got it.
All right. Later, man. Oh, man. That was my man, Steven Thompson, man. Good insight. Man, I didn't realize we had that connection together going to Powell Memorial Academy, man. That's some big, major stuff, man. Shout out to you, Steve. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you, Steve. Oh, man. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, you know we transition. That's what we do here. And, you know, just got some bad news to report on. Monday, February 8th, we lost a basketball historian and icon. That was Tom Konchalski. They called him the Super Scout. This guy was a legend here in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area. College basketball, he's like the oracle, man. This guy knew everything. He knew everybody. I mean, he can give you a breakdown on everything, man. And I just want to share, you know, the Tom Konchalski, the great Tom Konchalski, man, the gentle giant, man. Gentle giant gentleman. I want to share two stories that I have about Tom Konchalski. And I know people have been sharing their stories because, again, he reached so many different players and coaches and everything. But I got two stories. First one is, less than 2 years ago, I bumped into Tom Konchalski at a gym. And I don't think he would remember me at all, but he did. And, you know, and he was known for giving that firm handshake. And when he gave you the firm handshake, he looked you in your eyes and he shared the following story. He says, yes, Russ Williams, class of 1987. I remember it quite well. McClancy was playing against St. Raymond's High School at Rose Hill Gym at the University of Fordham University. And his team, your team, played against St. Raymond's. St. Raymond's had a 16-game winning streak. McClancy wound up winning that game, final score, and he gave the final score. And I was like, man, Tom, how did you remember that? He says, hey, that's what I do, you know? So that was the first story about Tom Konchalski. Now, a second story, this is an amazing story with Tom Konchalski here. When I was in high school, I was going into my senior year. I get a phone call at home. Somebody calls and they pick up and I say hello. And this person goes, hey, this is Bernard King of the New York Knicks. And I was like, oh, come on, man. What are you talking about? So I hung up the phone. I was like, this ain't Bernard King. Come on. Phone rings up again. He picks up. He goes, hi. Hey, this is Bernard King. Don't hang up this time. Okay, please don't hang up. Okay. Now, your name was given to me from Mr. Tom Konchalski. I run a camp called the Ernie and Bernie Basketball Camp. It was dedicated to Ernie Grunfeld and Bernard King. They did their thing in the University of Tennessee. Now they played with each other with New York, so they were running a camp. So Tom Konchalski recommended I go to the camp. He gave my name to Bernard King. Bernard King gave me the call, and then I got a scholarship to go to the Ernie and Bernie Basketball Camp, but going into my senior year. And I remember playing in that camp, which was a great development for me. And I remember I used to play against a guy named Jamal Walker. Jamal Walker was the man at Cardinal Hayes High School, in which we played them. We wound up playing them in the semifinals the following year. So we strummed up a relationship with that. So, again, I owe that to Tom Konchalski. Tom Konchalski thought enough of me to tell Bernard King, hey, I got a kid for you. I want him to attend your camp. So, rest in power, Mr. Tom Konchalski. Always one of those gentle giant gentlemen, man. Shout out to, and rest in power to Tom Konchalski. Man. So that's, that really hurt your heart, especially for people who picked up a basketball here in New York City, man. I mean, Tom Konchalski was that guy. And the guy he didn't own a cell phone. He didn't have a computer. when he did his reports, he did everything on typewriter. He didn't even have a license. He didn't even drive. You know, he either taking the train or he coaches or players probably, you know, dropped him off here in Queens. So, you know, Tom Konchalski, man, he was a one of a kind, Mr. Tom Konchalski. Man, oh man, oh man. So also, as you know, February is Black History Month. So on this day, February 9th, couple of things went down. So February 9th, 1944, novelist Alison Walker, who wrote the book The Color Purple, she was born in Eastonton, Georgia. This would happen in February 9th, 1944. Also on February 9th, 1952, author Ralph Ellison's novel Invisible Man, which they just turned that into a remake of a movie recently. That novel wins the National Book Award, okay, by author Ralph Ellison. Now, on this day also, February 9th, 1971, the great Leroy Satchel Paige is inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That went on during this day as well. And finally, February 9th, 1995, this day in Black history, African-American astronaut Bernard Harris takes a spacewalk. This took place on February 9th, 1995. So again, this is Black History Month, in which we're going to talk about every Tuesday. We're going to give you a little tidbits, what happened on those days. And I want you always to remember, Black history is America's history. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget that. So ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, or think today, my good friends, you have done an amazing thing today. So remember to celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. As I play my theme music, if I can find it. Where are we? Hang on tight. As I get out of frame here. Ooh, there we go. Speaking of music. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for you watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. I appreciate you guys. And as I mentioned earlier, and I mention all the time, we have a YouTube channel called Transition Tuesdays. I post all the videos on there if you missed this one. Okay? If you're not following me already, you should be. What's going on? But hey, on Instagram, you can follow me on R Will Transitions. The letter R, WILL, Transitions, okay? With an S. R Will Transitions. Follow me there on Instagram. Would love for you to do that. And shout out again to my good friend Stephen Thompson for joining the show, taking me down memory lane. Oh man, I love it. I love the stories. I love, people who love music and who love classic things. And Steve Thompson, he came and did his thing. So thank you, Steve, for that. I appreciate you, my man. So ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, as we say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.